something very special. So, I may have mentioned it already in a video a couple hundred times or something like that, but one of my biggest projects here in the near future is 31 Days of Halloween. So, what this is going to be kind of a preview shoot. I'm going to do a review real quick, show you kind of what you can expect from the 31 Days of Halloween, so that way you know going into it what to expect. And that way you guys can give me comments below if there's any, particular things you want to see or suggestions you might have, how I could change it, make it better. Particularly for this review, the movie I looked at was 31, Rob Zombie's newest horror masterpiece. And yes, I actually believe that Rob Zombie is capable of making horror masterpieces. I know, a little bit of a controversial opinion, especially with horror purists and enthusiasts. However, this movie really stands out. It's something different by Rob. It's more of the same, yet in a completely new package. We're not just sitting there seeing him do a Halloween movie or a movie about crazy killers. Now we have this actual high societal kind of crazy paranoia-driven horror movie, in my opinion, because after you watch Rob Zombie's 31, the big feeling that I just get is the idea that out there's always going to be people who, at the end of the day, you're just a game piece to them. You don't matter. In the grand scheme of things, they can buy, sell, and trade your ass, and there's not a thing you can do about it. And this movie really reinforces the opinion that we live in a world where that actually does exist, and it's not that uncommon. Foreign countries, all the time, we hear of Americans going over there and disappearing, same as people coming from foreign countries to America. Anywhere you go, there will always be people who think they're better than you. 31 shows us what happens when you get, too close to those people. So it begins pretty much like your average Rob Zombie film. We've got the found footage, home video style intro. We've got the great music. You can already see the classic line of characters rolling across the screen. Sheri Moon Zombie is there. She makes an appearance in every one of his movies. Arguably one of the most important actresses because she really is essential to every movie. Now, is that because she's his wife? Maybe. But I honestly think that Sheri Moon Zombie really can handle the pressure. She is a good actress. She could probably do a non-Rob Zombie film and hold up just fine. I look forward to it, but right now she seems pretty set with just whatever Rob's wanting to put out, she's going to be there and supporting the best she can. And this is more of the same than that. Maybe I actually overstepped it. I guess there was that one small scene before everything else. I guess it doesn't completely begin happy. It does still begin like a Rob Zombie movie, but maybe I'm so eager to look to the happiness, I forgot the introduction of probably one of the greatest villains in horror history, Doomhead. Now, the little prologue by Doomhead at the beginning of the film really sets the pace for things. It gives you the understanding that here is someone who likes what he does. He knows he is scum of the earth, but he is completely comfortable being scum of the earth. Better than that, he enjoys being scum of the earth. So this character, this Doomhead's just sitting there, and he's kind of talking first to you, the audience, but then he makes one thing abundantly clear, and this is what I think is the moment where he stops talking to the audience. It's right after this line is where the movie actually begins. Everything up until that point, I feel, is like a Rob Zombie's direct audio line to you, the viewer. And it ends with him saying something along the lines of, let me make one thing clear. I'm not here to amuse you. I am here to end your miserable fucking life. And it's at that moment that I was like, okay, let the games begin. I am ready. Full sail into this. Quickly from there, we have a little bit of what I felt was maybe a gratuitous scene, just previous victims kind of establishing that whole House of a Thousand Corpses, when we first see Captain Spaulding, people trying to rob him, that kind of feel. And it came by so quickly I almost forgot about it. That's just about the introduction there, and getting into those characters. And again, Doomhead played by another actor that's very, very phenomenal and common amongst Rob Zombie's work. We see him in Halloween 2 and things like that. So getting into the actual plot of the movie, without getting into too much spoilers, would be just the idea that So people are traveling, and they have car troubles, like most horror movies, something along those lines, something that causes them to stop, and they get kidnapped. And they become part of a game. Now, I remember sitting down and I was watching this with disembodied voices behind the camera, actually, and immediately we kind of had a butting of heads on some things. Disembodied voice was so sure that everything should be very themed and that they should have killers in each room, stuff like that. I'm like, no, it's not that kind of story. I was worried for a minute that it was going to be that we were going to transition from Rob Zombie's Halloween to Rob Zombie's 31, which is another Halloween because it does take place on Halloween. And it was just going to be this carnival of freaks. And I was like, oh, is he kind of just mashing House of a Thousand Corpses and Halloween together to make this new thing? But he didn't. That's not what we got. We got something completely different. We got a story of survival through game of chance, and it's kind of like an adult Hunger Games, in my opinion. I really like this. I felt like this stepped up the survival genre, because the last great survival films, arguably recently, were the Hunger Games, but I think after that second Hunger Games film, it stopped being about survival and just started being about how much flashy shit we can put in a movie. And then prior to that, we had games like, Battle Royale. That was a manga and a movie, and it was great. That kind of survival game is what I miss, and Rob Zombie's 31 brings that level of kind of, okay, these people are absolutely in a life or death struggle. It's not I should kill other people because there can only be one survivor. This is, no, there are people that specifically only care about killing you. That is what they're there for. They're not, there just to scare you. They are there to kill you. If you don't kill them first, they will kill you. And it quickly escalates to that at the forefront. Every scene from that point on feels like it's either exposition or action for a good majority of the movie. Now, most people are like, exposition, I don't know. This movie needs it. Malcolm McDowell also makes a pretty prominent appearance in this movie, and he does a lot of the exposition scenes, but it's good because his voice is perfect for it. I could listen to Malcolm McDowell explain the most boring things in the world. Have you seen Malcolm McDowell sit there and do, I think it's Amazon commercials about, running out of TV shows? I can listen to those commercials over and over again because of Malcolm McDowell's voice, and he does really well to use that in this movie, or rather, Rob Zombie does really well to use Malcolm McDowell in that way. And it's great. I love it. I love the whole fancy masquerade costume design they gave him. I love the high society pretentiousness that he always lends to his roles. But really, more than anything else, what I love about this movie is it felt like, in some sense, that his character was a spiritual successor to his character from Clockwork Orange. I really felt like that kid, grown up as we see Alex, as we see him at the end of Clockwork Orange, all grown up, is the character we get in 31, and that's awesome to me. I love that. That was a major fan bridging that I was just like, how can you not see it? How can I see it any differently from this point going on? And that was great. The action scenes, on the other hand, as opposed to the exposition, they were hit and miss for me. Some of them were really good. As I said, the villains are really good. Doomhead, who, other than his introduction, is held until very, very late in the film, but for obvious reasons, because every sequence with him is a huge, just major spectacle. Yeah, spectacle's a good word for it. I didn't know if I wanted to go spectacle or something more. He's larger than life, is what I'm getting at. The idea that when you see Doomhead on screen, the camera's always going to be focused on him. No one else on screen really matters when he's on screen. And that's problematic for everyone else in the story. However, some other characters up the way, definitely Sickhead was a pretty interesting character. Psycho Head and Schizo Head, other great characters. We get to see Bill Moseley make his return. Sex and Death, yes. And all these characters, such generic names. And I think there was one person who was sitting there and they were like, oh, what's up with these names? And I'm like, this is Rob Zombie. This is great. Disembodied voice was the one who was just like, oh, these names. I'm like, nope, this is classic Rob Zombie. I love it. Just simple, dumb names, because why does it matter? I mean, what does it matter what they're called? You don't even care what they're called. You just want to see what they're going to do. And they deliver that. Psycho Head, sawing somebody who's already like handcuffed to a mattress. And I'm not even spoiling anything. That's just a minor scene. That character means nothing. They're absolutely useless to the story in any other way. And as the movie progresses, you just really start wondering, is anyone going to survive? Does it matter if anyone survives? Do you even care if anyone survives? And that's because there's too little time spent building up any real fleshability to the heroes. Now that's a Rob Zombie director flaw, I think, is he doesn't care about the supposed good guys enough to ever really flesh them out. We get very two-dimensional characters that you're not meant to like, so that way you really, really enjoy seeing them die. He always tries to lend some extra coolness to Sherry's character, and that's great, and we always enjoy seeing her, but I would have really liked it if some of the other supporting cast members had been just given just a little bit more time to be fleshed out and possibly shown a little more strength, rather than just two-dimensional. They talk a certain way, they act a certain way, and that's what they do in every scene. Their personality doesn't change from scene to scene. We don't see anyone going from being a very dominant, badass person to suddenly becoming very passive. The character who seems very dominant is submissive from the very beginning, and if you pay attention, you'll see that this character is very submissive, and then they're submissive up to the point they actually die. So much that they have a sequence where their anxiety about being submissive manifests in a way that they get a visual scene that's not exactly set in reality, but a visual sequence for them personally that just reinforces the idea that this character is not a dominant person. This character's terrified, and that sucks. But that's part of the character, yes, but at the same time, it doesn't tell me anything else about the character. You just gave me a weak character that's scared. All right, I'm watching a horror movie. I expect to see weak, scared characters. Give me a reason to care about this character. Didn't get that. But then we get to that last act, and in that last act, we get the return of Doomhead. Now, as great as it was just to listen to Doomhead talk in the very beginning and deliver that line about ending my miserable fucking life, watching the introduction, watching these game masters get to the point where they're like, all right, well, there's no choice. We gotta call him. There's only one person left, Doomhead, and they call him, and he's in the middle of some, we'll say, vigorous exercising activities at the time, and his exercise partner does not want him to break routine to answer the phone by any means, but as he quickly tells her, this is business. And right from that moment he gets off the phone, instantly that over the top, this guy is, you know what? He's beyond the scum of the earth. The scum of the earth is actually based off of this character, I think. He's worse than that somehow, and he does every despicable thing just from the way he talks to this girl to the way he sits there and treats everyone once he shows up at the game grounds, as it were, or battlefield, or whatever you want to call it. Immediately, we also get another great scene that only Rob Zombie can deliver. I love the scene where a killer is finally putting on their costume or their outfit or their makeup or whatever, but they're always very quick, small scenes, usually silent, not with a lot of emotion. Characters in these situations tend to be cold, calculated, very sociopath. Doomhead is a psychopath. He's not a sociopath. It's not that he can't connect with people's feelings, it's that he doesn't care about people's feelings. He does care about his feelings, though, and he makes that clearly evident as he's laying on the final touches of his makeup, punching the crap out of himself, and I mean just Jim Carrey liar liar beating the shit out of himself just so he can be pumped up and ready to perform, because at the end of the day, this is just a job for him. As he says, murder school is in session, and he's ready to teach. From there, it's not long before we get to a big climax. There's only a few Oh, got a question?
Really fast. I think I should go in depth, though. It's something that you kind of explained to me whenever I was watching the movie, is essentially he is not a warrior. He is not a friend, an enemy. He holds no lies. He's just a murderer.
Yeah, he's just a murderer.
There's nothing more to, there might be a little more to the character, but for the most part, that's just
No, but that's what he is. He is his job. He's not he's not trying to be anything else. He's not, I've got a wife and kids that I secretly hold on to, or, I've got a drug problem. No, this guy is completely comfortable with being disassociated with normal reality and just being a murderer. He likes killing people. He enjoys it. He's good at it. And that's why that's all he does. He murders.
I mean, and to a certain sense, he almost has like a god complex.
Oh, yes.
Most definitely.
Most definitely. There's
pathological megalomania, as Jung would say.
And that's why I say he's not a sociopath. He understands emotions and stuff. It's just all of his emotions are about him. It's all me with Doomhead.
Yeah, and you almost want to call him an apex predator, almost. You do.
Almost, to an extent.
But once again, it's just like, it's not even a naturistic thing. It's just that's what he wants to do. He's good at it. He can make money with it. That's his thing.
Absolutely. It's not that he is an apex predator, because he's not doing this for fun. It's not like he's hunting people.
Yeah, it's like a natural or for nature or anything like that. No self-righteous or anything above,
I'll take it one step further. I'll make one more nerd connection with it. I'll say that perhaps he best embodies Heath Ledger's Joker's words of, when you're good at something, never do it for free.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Doomhead is. And we see exactly what it is he does. While there was one scene in the very beginning, as I mentioned, it went really fast. It was a little gratuitous. The sequences we see Doomhead actually murdering people from this point on are kind of elegant in a way. While they are brutal and they are disgusting, they have a certain level of just kind of flair and precision and savagery to them that's beautiful. And then that leaves us finally with just one person left. Sheri Moon Zombie. Her character in there, I think number 5, or Charlie. I gotta understand, the movie itself is exciting to me, but I haven't watched it enough times yet to exactly remember every character's name. However, the final moments between these two characters and the supposed end of the game are great. I'm not going to talk too much on them. I don't want to spoil for you. I will say probably the most solid ending that Rob Zombie has delivered, or at the very least, the most solid he's delivered since The Devil's Rejects. And with that, guys, this was just a taste of the review. One other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a letter grade system. That's what I'm personally using. So Rob Zombie's 31 is going to get a solid B+ for me. It was a great movie. It missed some things, but Rob Zombie's not known for being classically refined. He brings you exactly what he brings you. And this was more of the same, and I loved it. It was great. All right, if you liked the video, give us a thumbs up. Hey, give us a thumbs down. Tell me in the comments why you didn't like the video. Otherwise, do me a huge favor. Hit the subscribe button. And, of course, you can follow me at Nerd Word Order. Guys, I want to thank you for watching. Have a great day.